Hey everybody, welcome. Today we have country pop singer Jordana Bryant with me. I'm so excited to chat with you today. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm so excited to learn about your journey into the music industry. How did you first get into it?
Yeah, so I kind of always loved music, and my dad used to play in bands. He's a guitarist, so when he was a teenager, like he picked up guitar. So around the house he would always be playing guitar, and I would kind of just like hear that music and start like singing out melodies and lyrics. And I'm not sure I would really consider those songs, but I think that was the start of my love of songwriting. And I just fell in love with how it's kind of just like such a blank page where you get to do whatever you want with it. And I feel like as a songwriter, it's so awesome because you get the opportunity to choose what message you put out into the world. And it's such a great way to, I feel like, spread positivity and bring people together. And so I really just fell in love with that. And then when I was about 10, I think I started, after I started picking up guitar, I really started just like exploring, playing around with different chords and coming up with melodies and lyrics. And I just fell in love with songwriting and kept doing that for some years. And then probably about like 2 years ago, I posted a few covers on YouTube, and those got some traction. Those got a few million views. And so I started posting more. And then once the pandemic hit, I kind of started digging into Instagram, and I was really longing for a sense of community. So I started going live for an hour every night and kind of building a community that way. And people seem to be really enjoying that, kind of like feeling that sense of community and having something. I know for me, like just having something in my calendar to like look forward to really helped. And so I was able to build that up and build up my social media that way and get to spread my music that way and share it with people.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about your Instagram community. It's really built up. I mean, people are loving all of your covers. Do you have one that you've done that you love the most, or do you love a certain artist covering their music?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say probably my two favorite covers are Fancy by Reba McEntire and Jolene by Dolly Parton, because those are just two iconic artists who have inspired me and so many other women in country music. They're really just such inspiring role models to look up to.
Yeah, Fancy is like my ultimate favorite song ever. I remember like as like an 8-year-old like running around the house singing that song, like not even knowing what the lyrics were at
Oh my
all.
gosh, completely me too.
So funny. This past summer you spent time at Berkeley School. What was that like? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh
Congrats.
my gosh, it was so fun. Everyone there was so talented, and it was an incredible program. I mean, all the teachers were so nice and so like supportive. Any questions you had, they would try to help you through anything. But yeah, it was an awesome program. It was called the 5-week Aspire program, and you could choose whatever instrument you do. Like my roommate was a trombone player, and yeah, I know. And but I went there for singing and songwriting, obviously. And it was so fun. You got to learn about music theory, you did musicianship, which was more like ear training, you did sight reading, I did songwriting classes. And it was really just incredible to get to be in a place where everyone was so creative and get to collaborate with so many people who, normally you're not in a place where there are that many creative people to surround yourself with.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can even collaborate with those people going forward on projects
Yeah.
that you have
Yeah.
or they have. And like that's such a special opportunity to be able to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's talk about your new EP, the last first. It's described as bringing your fans on a journey through your journal. So, can you tell us what that means and what fans who haven't heard it can expect?
Yeah, so basically with Last First, I kind of just wanted to, especially because I feel like a lot of people have been having a tough time with, everything that's been going on. I felt like just putting something out into the world where it was about positivity and kind of, putting something out that I felt like if people heard it would kind of bring a smile to their face was really important to me. And so with all the songs, I really just wanted to have a bit of that optimism in there. And so three of the songs are actually kind of this like love story trilogy where like I always love how movies have sequels, and like I want to know what happens next. Like with all my favorite songs, I want to know like what happens after the song finishes. And so with those three songs, I kind of made it like following the story of like a love of a young love. And so with This Love, which was my first single, it was like the beginning of the relationship. And then Not Saying, it's kind of the I think I love you stage, but you don't want to be the one to say it first. And then with Last Verse, the title track, it's kind of the idea of thinking, what if this person is like who I spend the rest of my life with, and what if this is like my last first date of a relationship and my last first kiss of a relationship. And yeah, so those are three of the songs. And then there are also a few other tracks on there. One of them is kind of just an anthem about being yourself, and with all the songs I really hope it just makes people smile and kind of brightens their day.
One song, obviously the track, the last verse, you made a video for, and it made me smile because it was like so much fun, like everybody up and dancing and just like the whole theme of it. Like, talk about that video and how much fun you had making it, or what went into all of that planning.
It was the most fun. It was, I mean, before we shot it, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do. I kind of put a storyboard together, and I thought doing something really big at the end to kind of like culminate these three songs. And that was something I really wanted to do, and make something like a big, like, I was like, what about if we did like this huge dance scene in a barn that's like super overdone and
so cool though.
Fun. And so we started working on it, and the director brought in a choreographer, Elise, who's awesome, and she's super talented. It was such a blast to work with her. And then we brought in some dancers. I think there were like 16 dancers, and all of them were super talented and so nice. It was so much fun to work with them. It was just like incredible, and I'd never done anything like that before. So it was an experience I'll never forget.
Had you ever taken dance lessons or anything like that before?
I mean, I'd taken the ballet classes that I think every little girl has taken, but I wouldn't say it was one of my strengths. So it was definitely a different experience learning that choreography. And when I saw the dancers do it, I was like, why can't I do it like them? Like,
no, you know what's funny?
They were all insanely good.
You say that, but it's funny because when I was watching the video, I wasn't thinking, oh, these are professional dancers, because you were holding your own with all of them. I wasn't even thinking these are pros. I was just like, oh, maybe these are her friends or something.
Thank you. Yeah, but they were all so nice, and they were, whenever you had like a question, like if I was like, what is that step, they were like super supportive, and it was just a blast to work with them.
So cool. Your next song coming out next week is called Fast Car. Talk about that song. What can we expect from it?
Yeah, so that one is actually a cover of one of my favorite songs by Tracy Chapman. And I've always loved Fast Car. I thought it was such a cool song. And so with this song, we're kind of trying to do a different take on it, make it a little more contemporary, because the song is like I think 30 or 40 years old.
Yeah.
And so kind of keeping the classic feeling with it, but also making it a bit my own. And I'm super excited to share my take on it.
That's awesome. You mentioned when we first started talking that your dad is also in music. Have the two of you ever collaborated on anything?
Yeah. So when I was first starting out songwriting and I didn't really play guitar, a lot of times he would, come up with some chords, and then I would start singing melodies and lyrics to that. And that was definitely how I first started doing songwriting. And so now, even though I play guitar, I still love doing that with him. And he always has fun chords that he puts together. And so it's a blast to get to jam out with him.
Yeah. If you could go into the studio and work with anybody, who would you love to have come in?
Well, an artist or a writer?
Or producer, anyone.
Yeah, okay. So I'd say for writer, either Liz Rose or Shane McAnally. They're both incredibly talented.
Amazing. Yep.
For a producer, I would say maybe Nathan Chapman, because he's just incredible. And then for an artist, I'd probably say either Dolly Parton or Reba McEntire, just because I feel like it's so inspiring how they really paved the way for kind of women in country music.
Absolutely. Fun question for you that I just love asking people. If you had a concert coming up and the venue says you can put anything on your rider that you want, what would go on your rider?
I think I would just say a bunch of guitars because before a show, I always love messing around. It's like with the guitars and like new songs and everything. It just calms me so much. So I would say just a bunch of instruments in there to jam out with.
That's interesting. I love that answer that you like have guitars that will calm you down before you go on a
Yeah,
show. That's cool.
definitely. Yeah, especially like doing something with your hands. I don't know. For me, it's like really calming to like not have to think and to just like play some music.
Yeah. Okay, I have a really fun game I want to play with you. And it has a little theme to it that goes along with your EP. So you'll get it when we go. So, first time you knew you wanted to be a singer.
I think probably the first time I heard like a Dolly Parton song, I just was like so completely in love with it. I was like so inspired by how it's like every song is kind of like a story and you can really like visualize it, and it's I just fell in love with like that whole kind of idea of making your own stories and getting to share kind of this bit of your life with everyone. I found that so inspiring.
Uh, First song you ever sang in front of a crowd.
Gravity by Sarah Bareilles when I was 8 at a hotel in Colorado.
Oh
Yeah, it was just like we knew the one of the guys who was playing in the band, and we were like family friends with him, and so he was like, "Do you want to sing a song on stage?" And I was like, "Sure." And I fell in love with it after that. I loved how, you know, kind of when you start singing on stage, you kind of like every like fear that you have for me just like melts away, and you're just like focused on the music, and I love that.
wow, that's a cool story.
Thank you.
First song you ever recorded.
First song I ever recorded, "This Love," which was my debut single.
First time you ever went out of the country.
First time I think when I was like 3, I went to a wedding in Mexico because we have some family friends there, but I don't recall it.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, now switching. Last time you tried a new food and what was it?
um, last time I tried a new food. Oh, it was probably okay, so one of my friends, for her birthday every year, I will try a new food because she is like a foodie. She tries everything and I am not that way. Like I will not try exotic foods. So, like last year for her birthday, she had me try fish eggs and it was it was not my favorite, but it was an experience.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes.
Last time you wrote a song.
Um, yesterday.
Today, no.
Yeah.
Last time you bought something for yourself.
Um, a few days ago, I bought myself a new pair of jeans because
Yeah,
for school you can't have ripped jeans, so you need to get jeans without rips. So that was my back to school shopping.
I love it. Last book you read.
Um, I just finished, oh, what book? I just finished Emma by Jane Austen. I'm a big Jane Austen fan. I love her books.
Nice. And last thing you baked, because I know you're a baker too.
Yes, I love baking. Oh, the last thing I baked was these like banana ice cream bites where you like basically you put like banana and like coconut oil or something and like and you like put they're frozen or something and basically that makes an ice cream and then you like dip them in chocolate and Rice Krispies so it makes it like crunchy.
Oh my goodness. That sounds delicious. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for this awesome interview. I can't wait to hear Fast Car next week when it comes out.
Thank you.
Where can everybody find you on social media?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Jordana.Bryant, and then on YouTube, just Jordana Bryant. And for all other platforms, if you just search Jordana Bryant, you'll find it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we will talk soon.
Thank you so much. I had a blast talking with you today.